Hello and welcome to another RAMMBOCK Dev Log update. I am Hybrid Mink, aka Nick, and this is another update. This time we're talking about the menus, mostly. Main menu, results screen, pause menu, and game over. Those are the main ones that I worked on. There's lots more to come. A lot of the work behind the scenes had to be done to make all these things integrate with each other, but I'm not going to get into all that minutia, probably. Let's start with the main menu, which we share like this. So, familiar screen, you might have seen before. Tweak the press start part. It looks a little different. The RAMMBOCK logo is a little different too. It's a bit more purple. It's a little more readable. I'm sure I'll change it again, but for now, I think this is looking pretty good. When we hit start, it all kind of noirs up and brings up this menu. These will have submenus, but right now they all just do one thing. Story plays the level from the tutorial. I actually moved the big story chunk. I had like 5 minutes of story. I'm not even sure if I showed that off last time. I think I did. Anyways, I moved that. It's going to be in the memories section. But that could always change. Right now, that's just not there. It's easier for testing anyways. Score attack just turns off story. You just play the level without story stuff. Boss rush now warps right to the boss. I had a little debug thing in place. Now the boss rush brings you there. Obviously, in the final one, there'll be a sub-menu that's like, yo, where do you want to start? And here's all the bosses you're going to fight. Exit game, obviously. And options, I'll maybe next time. There's a lot of options that I have in mind, like, you know, full screen, resolution, all that. That's not in place yet, but it's planned. You know, I'll just jump in, and I can show you the pause menu from here. So we still have that transition. Here's the tutorial. I'm just going to say, no, I don't need the tutorial. I'm going to say, nah, I know what I'm doing. You can see the UI is updated, which I'll get into in a second. That was a big part of this. This sound effect play? No thanks. Blah, blah. We skip all the tutorial. And we get out of here. I can still change the speed. So I have a custom start point. That's why it's starting here. But here's the pause menu for now. You know, again, this could change, but I use a little CRT effect I thought could be neat to push this up. Continue, restart, self-explanatory. You're going to be able to change the missions, which are going to be achievements that you can unlock. You ever wonder what the little hexes on the side of the screen are here? To the right? I have mouse hidden, so you can't see my mouse. But to the right, you have the little hexes. That is where I plan on having the achievements pop up, aka missions. Quit is obvious. And then I have these 3 debug things where I could go into hyper mode. I can rev the rank, which I'll show you in a sec. You know, I'll turn that on. And then invincibility, which, you know, I'll also turn on so I don't die during this presentation. We'll leave the hyper thing off. So to the left, you see... Let me hide me for a sec. You see... As far as I'm concerned, this seems like the finished UI. To the left, we have the high score. Extend shows you where your next one-up is going to be. Right next to your lives, which used to be in the bottom left. Now it's up there. It's very small. But just look at that little pink number. That's it. To the left and lower to that is the chains. This will keep track of all the chains you get up to the top chain. And if you get the top chain, a little star will appear. I could demonstrate that, but it'd be a bunch of work. You'll see an example of that when I show you the results screen. But then under that, we have the rank gauge. And that goes up as you do various things. If you remember from previous videos, you know what? Now I should show me for a sec. You remember from previous videos, the rank gauge was actually just like a number, and it would go up every time you got a chain. That's now been separated. I think in the last video, I had like the makings of it. It was kind of like in the middle of it. But now, yeah, it goes up and down as you do things. And then the speed, I changed the speed thing. I basically rotated it, put it on the bottom, and then like tweaked it a little bit, put the word speed next to it, and I think it just looks a lot better now. So let's continue. So you can see the bottom left, the speed thing going up and down. And let's get some chains. Here we go. Remember, I'm invincible, so I can do whatever I want. You can see the little icon when something gets hit. That's a recent addition. But yeah, to the left, you see how the rank's going up and the gauge is moving. Notice the little number. It's also, you know, it's very small. You notice the little number around it. That shows you your multiplier. And that is your chain times that number. That is what you get as a bonus. So that's the main point of the rank gauge, but you also get hyper mode, which I believe I showed off hyper mode last time. I don't know if I showed off the updated art for the, like the ram boom or whatever, but let's just turn on hyper always just so we could show that real quick. So, you know, there's the ram boom, that's the hyper ram, and then here's the laser beam, of course, and then that. One thing that I also changed was the dash. The dash is now free. You don't have to pay any meter to get it. You notice how like in these little tinks when I go near enemies? Enemies will now kind of spark when you're near them. So it's kind of like a warning, like, oh, you're about to get hit. But yeah, I'd like to just show you how to get to R rank so you can see it. We're gonna get it right now, watch. And it revs up, and it's on fire, and yes, now is when you would normally have the beam and the ram boom and all that stuff. But it's hard to get back. It's very similar to Devil May Cry. Like, the higher your rank, the easier it is to lose it. And you can see the number goes up. We're at 14 right now. And if you hit 100, it turns to a star, and you'll get a bonus at the end of the round, which, you know, maybe we'll show that right now. Let's quit. Alright, so let's get into the results screen. So this will slide on... It already does, but I'm not going to do the whole boss fight just to show you what happened. But just imagine, it slides on screen after the big explosion happens. And... So there'll probably be some tweaks to the visual presentation here, but I think for the most part, I like how this looks. You get a bonus for defeating the boss. If you time out, you don't get that bonus. Boss bonus is, well, there's a secret way of killing the boss, and if you get that, you get a big old bonus there. And then chains, you get, what is it, 1,000? I think you get 1,000 points for each chain. All these numbers could change once I balance things, but for now, they're pretty good placeholders. And then it all adds up to your score, and then you get a rank. You get a final rank based on that. So what I'm planning for the leaderboards is like the 3 stars, or maybe just 2 stars. Like, we don't really need the boss defeated in it. But it'll show your stars, it'll show your rank, it'll show your score. Like, that is the intention. And I think some people like the idea of trying to get 100 chain on every level. I think I would like that. So that's the current plan. And we got a little debug thing where I can just go to the main menu again. One thing I didn't show is when you back out, it does that. Ooh. You can go in and go out. Okay. And then we'll just quit naturally here. Exit game. And it exits the game. So, yeah, there's a lot of menus. I think we are missing the game over screen. Let's show that. This is actually the first one I worked on this month. I wanted it to feel similar to Ikaruga, where the screen goes dark and the game over comes up. But I also added the menu option of retrying and quitting. So as you die, this will come up. Before, it used to just be like a screen of fire, and that was it. But now, I kept the fire. I might not keep the fire in the end. It might be a little tacky, but this game is not trying to be not tacky, so I think it works. So we have the retry and the quit. This basically that's it. But between score attack and story mode, this might change. So for now, this is all it does. And if you retry, well, since I'm previewing the scene, it won't retry. But if it was in-game, it would. And I'm not going to die. And then it shuts the scene, and then we go back to the main menu. Yeah, those are the main 4 menus that I worked on. A bunch of them are going to have sub-menus, specifically the options and the appendix. You might have seen the appendix on the main menu. There's a bunch of stuff planned for that, but I probably won't go into that until I really have it in place. I could just change my mind and not do it. But having stuff to unlock, having a reason to keep playing. I didn't really want to do a roguelike, but that could change too. But right now, it's like an old school shmup with a bunch of changes. I also worked on a thing called the... Let's go on me. That's not me. This is me. I got a thing called a mod manager, which I've been thinking about mods for a while now. In the appendix, you unlock different things. And one of the things I was thinking about doing is mods. So it's like, oh, you're always invincible. You always have hyper. But there's some kind of detriment to it. And maybe the leaderboard is separate from the main leaderboard. So I have a mod manager now, which is just like, oh, I tick this on, and this works. So when I actually do get into unlocks and whatnot, I could tie it to that manager. It's only a few things now, specifically the 3 that you saw in the pause menu. But I have plans for more that I won't talk about just yet. Because if I don't do them, you'll be disappointed. Maybe. Let's see, what else we got? The jukebox. I don't remember if I talked about the jukebox, but now I have a way of handling music. I think that might have been like either the end of last month, beginning of this month. Ooh, I don't have it open here. Let's see. So, it's just like a global music handler. It's nothing fancy. I'm not gonna zoom in. You can zoom in if you want. But yeah, it stops. It plays music. It sets the volume. It blends it. You know, all the things you need if you want to have a music player. And I could have a jukebox in the options menu, the appendix. That could be a thing, and it probably will. I've been talking with somebody about music, and I think we're finally going to get some original music in here. Some of the music that you might have heard, not this video, because we didn't play much gameplay. Some of that music you might have heard was from my previous game that never came out. And the tutorial music I like, but that could change too. Who knows? So yeah, there's the jukebox, and yeah, I mean, I mentioned the rank system and the new UI. That was a significant chunk of this month getting that all to work, because it used to be a very different system, and I had to rework it a lot. And I moved a lot of stuff over to the HUD. So I have a HUD script, and I have a level script, and I have a level manager script. For all I know, I'm doing this the wrong way, but having them separated like that seems to make sense to me. I'm pretty sure I showed you the story stuff last time, so I'm not going to do that again. Oh yeah, and the pause menu. The pause menu was actually a lot of work too, because before I just stopped the entire engine. I just stopped the game engine, and that is what was suggested to me by all the tutorials online. And then when I look stuff up, it's like, never do that. You should actually just use pause. There's like literally a pause function in Godot. It's like, all right, I'll just do that. But then the shaders didn't pause. It's like when you see the water glistening and everything, that didn't stop. When enemies would flash, they kept flashing. So figuring out a way to do that, I actually just pretty much figured out last night. So I wanted to make sure I had at least that ready, and I didn't end up showing you. So good. But yeah, it's a lot of the foundation in place. I really hope next month I'll be able to do some level 2 stuff, but there's a good chance that won't happen for a while, because I'm still trying to make this feel like a finished product. And I mean, right now it does. I could go through the entire level, but I've done it so many times. You don't need me to do that again. I will do it maybe next time. Maybe I'll go through the whole level from start to finish if it feels complete. But I want to have a demo ready soon. So yeah, I mean, that's probably about it. The menus were the meat of the work. I tweaked a bunch of art. You might have noticed the difference in the results screen art, you know. But things are always getting tweaked and iterated on. That's just how I am. So yeah, if you want to support me, there's patreon.com/hybridmink. All these videos go up there first. Hybridmink.com, the RAMMBOK section has all these videos in one place. Or you could just go to YouTube if that's where you are right now. I don't know where you are. And twitch.tv/hybridmink is where I stream almost every night. Sometimes I work on RAMMBOK, sometimes I work on commissions or fan art or whatever. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for taking an interest. And man, is this number 10? I didn't even say what number it is. It's either 9 or 10. I think it's 9. You'll see. It's in the thumbnail. You won't be confused. I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.